Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, today the topic is prove me that God exists. Maybe the most difficult topic to deal with. To prove that God exists, but just introduction to the class tonight, we're going to speak about maybe the most important characters in our life. This is going to be introduction. The most important character. If you're going to ask me, what is the most important character that we need to have, each one of us? What is the most important? Jealousy, being large. What kind? You're going out on a date and you're looking. I will tell you one of the best characters that you need to have, or you need your spouse to have, is savlanut. In Hebrew, they call it patience. Having a patient is a great gift, especially in our generation that everything becomes so fast and so easy. They call it the instant generation. In our generation, in my generation, I'm allowed to say, I'm not such a big difference from each one of you, maybe 20 years, but still, used to be time, you know that, ladies, once upon the time, people used to cook. You know, they used to go to the kitchen and to make scrambled eggs. Today, we have a restaurant, breakfast, $3.99, $3.99, that's it. You get breakfast and coffee. Not in Manhattan, most likely Manhattan, $6.99, but still, everything become, number of a restaurant. It was once upon the time that people used to cook. It was once upon the time that the coffee used to be made. Today, everything is instant. You want food, you put microwave, you push the button, and life is good. Our generation, if it's anything the main things that our generation is lacking, and because of that, all the complaints and all the suffering, because we want everything chick-chack, chick-chack. I'm going on a date, I want to get married tomorrow. 3 months. How come? You're going on a date twice, and already questions. How come he doesn't offer me to get married with me? He just met you yesterday. When you're rushing. But this is our character. Everything become chick-chack. And the speed of life. If it's anything that we have to learn, that patience is a blessing. Most of the greatest things that will come to you will be through patience. And most of the greatest things that will happen to you that you're going to lose is because you are too fast. Too fast. אני חושב חכם צבי, not remember his name, he was a rabbi. I believe Chacham Tzvi, he was a great rabbi in the Ashkenaz world, that he was a guest. He was a guest. When he was in the age of 20, 21, he was a brilliant young man. Now, in the old time, when young guys used to go to yeshivot, there was no place to sleep. So what did they used to do? They used to go to the yeshiva and sleep in the houses next to the yeshiva. Now imagine yourself, you're getting a person that is not your child for the next 3 or 4 years every day. I mean, today in our generation, a guest stay 2 days, and you already look at him with such a face, Ayn hara, negara, pegara, you give him ayn, evil eyes. You know many times I see people asking the guest, you still alive? Well, you want me to die? Well, better I'm still alive. I'm only 2 days. 2 days, and we feel so burdened on a guest. It used to be time that people used to love guests. Not like nowadays in the American dreams, that to come for coffee, you need to call 2 weeks before to check the schedule with the iPhone. And I'm busy. Be easy. Not tomorrow, not day after. I'm busy, running life. When I grew up in Israel, nobody called each other. People come in, you know what, Israelis, they have such a chutzpah, they didn't even knock the door. They opened the door, and many times I find people from my street, from my neighborhood, from my building, walking into my house, and this is a true story. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the reasons that I am maybe one of the only people, the last survivor, that in Brooklyn, I had my house for 6 years, that the door was no key. It was always open. Why? I grew up with a house that the door was always open. It's no key. You come, you open. Why? People came into my house. I used to wake up and I see young guys making chocolate sandwich, hummus, trina. And I said, oh la la, Can I have a sandwich, please? This is my house and I feel stranger in your own house. It was normal. It was a time. I know that when I'm talking to you, wow, Rabbi, we are in a different generation. It was normal. Ask your parents. They will tell you. Hospitality was one of the greatest gifts. Today you look in a guest, like he's your enemy. And especially after you're going to get married, you're going to see that a guest is a challenge. One of the challenges of having a guest, you cannot argue with your husband. And you cannot scream. You cannot suddenly, sweetheart. Suddenly you and your husband become, your husband is gentleman, opening the door, flower every week. Just the guest leaving, which open and which door. שכחו אותי בבית. He left you behind, which gentleman. Next to the guest, you know how difficult, maybe this is one of the reasons that this mitzvah is such a great mitzvah. Because you're changing your own life for a different Jew. You know how important is that? So this rabbi went in and he stayed in a guest. The only challenge with this rabbi is that he was matmid. You know what means matmid? Matmid, some rabbis love to study. We call the nation of the books, not the nation of the games. Everyone have a game in the computer, in the lab, and the smartphones that we can play 1 hour, 2 hours. You know, sometimes I heard many parents that came to me and said, Rabbi, my children spend 1 to 2 hours mechila mikvutchem in the bathroom. And the guy didn't even went to the bathroom. He just went in there, nobody bothered him. That's it. Life is good. He's sitting down, playing. It used to be time, again, it used to be time that people, our people, the Jewish nation, the greatest nation in the world, used to love study. You know that one time, the story with Chacham Ovadia Yosef, Zichron Tzadik V'Kadosh Livracha, not long ago, his child one time shared a story. Listen to this story, very rare. He saw him standing on Friday night, and Friday night he saw him standing in one of the corner of the house with a book. He went to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning. The child wake up at 7 o'clock. Where did he see his father? In the same corner with the book. He said, Abba, you didn't sleep? He said, oh, no, I forgot to sleep. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of us forget to sleep? Why? Forget to pray. Forget to say Birkat Hamazon. We all need to be awake, to remind, sending a message. Don't forget, Zman Kiryat Shema, Zman, the time of Tefillah. But how many of us forget to eat or forget to sleep? It was a time that people used to love study. Many rabbis become great. This rabbi used to love study, and he used to come late to the house that he used to stay. The wife got a little upset. So she spoke with the husband, why you still leave him here? Why we have to be stuck with this guy? And the children also. And the father never reacted. He never spoke. He said, no, this is a great guy. He's a righteous man. It's our privilege that he's in my house. 1 year he didn't spoke. One day he had a tough day in the business. And this guy came late. When he came late, Daniel, he took out all this 1 year, screaming on the guy, shame on you, why you always coming late? He didn't tell him to leave, but he gave him to feel so bad. In the morning, this owner of the house felt so bad. He came into the rabbi, said, Rabbi, I'm sorry for last night. And this moment when he said, I'm sorry, the president of the city of Berlin, you know where's Berlin, right? The president of the city of Berlin, at that time, one of the greatest places in the Jewish world, came to him and offered him to become the chief rabbi of the city. And they said, if you're going to say yes, right now we're taking you. So that young boy looked at the owner and said, you see, I know that you hold yourself for 1 year. 1 year. But if you hold yourself another day, you, your children, and your grandchildren will become Talmidei Chachamim, learning people, greatest people. But now because of last night, now because you had no patience, your children will become rich, your children and your grandchildren. But they're not going to become the righteous people. You know which family is that? The Rothschild family. The father of this family is the Rothschild. Listen to that. One day different. Many great things in life we're losing because we have no patience. Last week, we discussed about what? The Egel. The Egel, the golden calf, our portion of the week. The portion of the Egel, Parashat Kitisa, our portion. What exactly happened in the Egel? Why the Jews made the golden calf? You know why? Our sages said, Ki boshesh Moshe lavo, al tikra boshesh, ela beshesh. 6 hours. They had calculation over the 40 days that Moshe Rabbeinu promised is going to come back. They had a mistake, 6 hours. If they wait another 6 hours, we're all going to have Mashiach. We will never be in the desert. We will never have so much suffering. 6 hours waiting. The Jews had no patience. Our worst mistakes is because we're trying to rush everything, chick-chack, let's do it. How many times, ladies and gentlemen, and be honest, you don't have to respond. How many times we respond and we say things that we're not supposed to? And after that you said, I wish I was quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, no one ever was sorry for not talking. But all of us feel bad, so much apologize for talking. To be quiet, you never do mistakes. Even if you look like a loser, it's better to be quiet because at least you didn't say something that you're going to be sorry after. How many of us respond fast? We lost everything that we have. How many of us, when your boss, acting horrible to you, and you want to play like a macho, like a man, no one will talk to me like that. No one. Let's step outside. Let's finish it and you screaming and shouting. I hate this place. I feel bad I ever met you. You brought me so much bad mazal. You screaming all this nonsense. And usually fire you after such an introduction and such a welcome word. And what exactly happened? You go next to your friend like a balloon, like a Popeye. You know Popeye? Popeye. You're going like a Popeye for 6 months. It's no job. For 6 months. Sometime for 1 year you look for a job, but I was the man. Ladies, being 18 years being a rabbi, you know how many divorces happen? But I'm right. I was right. Who cares? The family being destroyed? Your life being destroyed? I am right. It's better to be wrong and happy from being right and miserable. Remember it. It's better to be wrong and happy. And Shalom Bayit, especially when you're going to get married, you're going to see, ladies and gentlemen, how many times in life you have to agree over things that you don't agree. How many times in life you have to be quiet even though that you want to talk. And you really want to talk so badly. So if there's any character that is important to have, is the character of savlanut. Patience. Having a patience in life. Rab Nachman Mibreslev said, savlanut in English, and numerical number is how much? 548. Nitzachta. You know how much is Nitzachta in Hebrew? 548. Meaning, having a patience in life is 548. Patience, savlanut. Winning, Nitzachta is winning. 548. If you want to win life, patience is the greatest character that you can have. And this is the introduction of tonight. Tonight I will try to prove, without any reasonable doubt, that God exists. But before I'm going to speak about if God exists or not, I will give 2 short introductions that needed for this topic. The first one is, if you have the questions, and here nobody have these questions, I believe that you all of you, Yehudi, Ma'aminim, Bnei Ma'aminim, we have a faith, nature faith, that we got in the gene from Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, from our forefather. But if somebody outside asks you, prove me that God exists, the first question that you have to ask him If I'm going to prove you that God exists, are you willing to make a change in your life? I'm not saying to become black hat and having a peot and, all day long being with God. No. Small change. Shabbat. Not kashrut. Tefillin. One item. Give me one item. If yes, I'm willing to prove it to you. You know why? Because many people ask this question not because they want to get answer. For them, it's comfortable that God does not exist. It's good for most of the people in this world, maybe 95%. It's good not to believe in God. This is their benefits, and I will tell you why. Because not believing in God meaning you can kill, steal, cheat, speak Lashon Hara, do anything you want, and feel good with it. Feel comfortable. If God does not exist all day long in the club, in the disco, you dance in balagan. Who cares? God does not exist. So many people, 95% of the people, it benefits that God does not exist, because if God does exist, meaning when I wake up in the morning, I have to say Modeh Ani, and then I have to wash my hand, and then the shoes I have to put right, left, and then in the shower, which part of the body I have to put? The head first, or the leg, or the hand? Many questions in halakha. And everything, how did I do my business? I cannot steal, I cannot cheat, I cannot speak Lashon Hara, I cannot hear Lashon Hara. So what's most of the people is doing? All day long, gossip. Actually, you have to know what exactly happened in the synagogue on Shabbat. It was good. We made it in. We have to speak. Negotiation. What exactly? I didn't like the way that you dress. She dressed horrible. What the shoes she chose? She looked like she's blind. This one, you will never get married. Who is going to take her? All this. But then you cannot. Because God exists. So if God does not exist, you can continue with life. Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem. 95% of the world choose the Buddha or any other religion over Judaism. Not that they don't know that Judaism is right. I will tell you a secret. I don't know if you consider it a secret because I have a camera, right? But I will tell you quiet. 99% of the world deep down, especially the one that's searching, know that the Jewish religion is the only emet religion in the world. So ask me, how come they choose any other religion? Very simple. The other one is no obligation. You're going into Christianity. You're going in once a week on Sunday, and you sing it. Alleluia, Alleluia. You're going into the booth. You know the booth, this place? They gave him $500 under the table. He said, I forgive you, forgive you, forgive you. He throws some bucket of water, and you're going in like a swimming pool. You're going out. Yalla, party is on. Let's go back to business. You can do whatever you want. If you're not religious, it's no obligation. It's no obligation. Nobody asks you to wake up in the morning every day and to do this and to give charity, not to give 10%. You can do whatever you want. Life is beautiful. You see, I understand. I don't agree with them, but I understand. These people that love the Buddha, you know who's the Buddha? This chubby guy, I like him. Nonsense, but I like him. You know, this chubby guy, they put light and they put barbecue. The guy is chubby. I don't know, maybe they give him shawarma all day long, he's eating. Or falafel, I don't know. The guy is, every time I see him, he's going up a little more. I don't know how. But you know, this guy, or the people in India that believe in the cow. Cow is God, and this one is God. All this nonsense, they know that this is nonsense. How can cow create the world? How can a cow or a Buddha? And this is what Avraham Avinu verified. He used to come to people. Avraham Avinu, his father, had the biggest manufacturer of idols in this world. And when people used to come to him, he used to ask, tell me, where is your God? He said, this guy. He said, but this guy just made him yesterday. I made him in the machine yesterday. How can you already exist 40 years and this guy came from a machine yesterday, is your God? Avraham Avinu being 3 years old, he understands this nonsense. So if people ask you, prove me that God exists, the first reaction is, if you're willing to change, I'm willing to talk. But if you just want to feel good, stay at the place that you are, because anything I'm going to say will never affect you. It's so easy to believe in the big band. You know the big band? Why? It's no obligation. You walk in the street, and then it was extremely light. Pa-pa! And then I'm walking outside, Starbucks, coffee, and papillon, life is good. Big bird, big bird. It's all, why? It's no obligation. Is anything? You have to change anything for your life? Nothing. Once upon a time, it was a big band, and that's it. That's it. It's no obligation. Nothing that I have to change. Judaism. Torah milashon hora. The challenge of knowing that God is existing is He leads us. He leads us to make small changes in our life. And the way that we speak, and the way that we do business, and the way that we dress, and the way that we walk, and the way that we think, and the things that we are watching. But Rabbi, I'm not cheating. Watching is good. What do you want? I'm only watching. No. If you know that God exists, certain things you definitely cannot watch. This is not our topic tonight, but certain things. We have to be very careful. What we're watching affects our mind and brain. And the reason that this society, this generation, 95% of them, depression or corrupts generation. Corruption is mind. You see such an aggressive mentality, physically, mentally. I'm not going to get into details. It's because the movie that we're watching. The movie that these people, in the food business, they said, in the food business, knowing to be in the food business, that you know how people is eating with the eyes. Is no connection. You can give, buffet, all you can eat. All you can eat, when a restaurant making all you can eat, is the highest level of money. Is the best benefit for restaurant is all why? Nobody touch the food. 90% of the food is staying over there. You know that logic-wise, except in Israel. In Israel, all we can eat. The guy is calling his friend, bring the truck. You hear, beep, beep, the guy is not back. No. Israel is the only place, all you can eat is not good. And also, Walmart and how do you call it, Costco, will never, 90 days money back warranty. Only in America they can make money like that. Israel, you see the guys every day coming back. 24 hours, they change it 7 times. No, this business is not good. Certain places. But in America, the reason is, you know why? Ask any chef, any person in business, he will tell you people eat with the eyes. They don't really eat the food. But the plate is full. Wow, Hashem. I remember one time they invited me to a fancy restaurant. La Bonnière, La Marais, I don't know how to call it. Maybe La Marais, I'm not remember. It was a good restaurant. Not for people like me, simple people, and it's not simple to be a simple Jew. I was there, and I saw, I don't know, it was a ladder, big ladder, big, huge ladder, with a small side of chicken. And I'm looking, where is the chicken? I said, what's it that? He said, this is the main dish. I said, this is what? מה זה? אלא לראותם בלבד. This is the main dish. They put your ladder, signature. מה זה? I don't need the ladder, I need food. We are Israelis, we need real food. Don't give us fancy. Give us simple and food. Rabotai, people eat with the eyes. Yes, if God exists, your eyes have to be careful. If God exists, you hear, have to be careful. If God exists, your mouth, what you say or what you eat. So for some people, it's benefits. Rabbi, don't come with the answer. I want to stay comfortable in my life. Life is good until now. I don't know who is God. I didn't decide yet. Leave me alone. Life is good. For that people, we didn't come to speak here tonight. Because any answer you're going to give is not going to be good. Second things I will tell you, and listen to this one. One time it was a community in the time of the Rambam. You know the Rambam? You know who is the Rambam? Maimonides, they call it in English. You know Maimonides? That one everybody know. A hospital, right? How do you call it? Maimonides, right? In Brooklyn, in Ocean Manhattan, Maimonides, or Manhattan is a different name, no? Mount Sinai, right? Also under the Rambam. After the Rambam or whatever. And in Brooklyn, they have Maimonides, right? Rambam. One of the most famous rabbi, a talented and brilliant rabbi. It was a community that sent them a letter. The whole community have one question. Rabbi, can you convince us that God exists? We want to see it. The rabbi sent them a letter back And this is not a regular rabbi. You know what he wrote them back? Check the butcher. What the butcher have to do with God? What, the butcher is giving lectures? What? I don't know. What do you want from the butcher? We ask you, imagine this, if you ask me, Rabbi, prove me that God exists, I tell you, check the butcher. Right away, you bring the psychology. What the butcher have to do with the fact that God? Yudi, what kind of answer? Exactly. So this is a heavy issue. They looked in the Rambam, they checked the butcher. Ladies and gentlemen, you're not going to believe. Happened to be that this butcher, that so to speak, was religious, so to speak, bought all his meat and chicken from China. Nothing was kosher. People pay kosher food. People did pay for kosher. Happened in our generation, the same story, by the way. The same story exactly. People pay for kosher and they got Chinese chicken. How do you know that it's Chinese? The chicken have eyes like that. And instead of kukuriko, say lihoma, liha, oh. Right? After that, they realized, it's always after. So it was a Chinese chicken. They bought them. So they send the Rambam a letter. How do you know that the butcher, the meat is not kosher? How do you know? We ask you about God. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second introduction. The first one is, if you're going to hear answer and you're willing to change a little, we have something to talk. The second one, the Rambam wrote, if a person eat unkosher food, is no one to talk. Because unkosher food, ונתמתם, אל תקרא ונתמתם, אלא ונתמתם. When a person eat unkosher, his mind and heart become clogged, like a gate. Nothing that you speak will enter. The unkosher food effect. Many times they tell you in English, you are what you eat. Food does affect the people. You're going to eat food with the good, not only the kosher, talking about shechita, yes, but also the animal of kashrut. Usually they are much more calm, much more merciful. They're not aggressive and killing each other. If you're going to check the animal that they are kosher, they are a good animal in character. If you eat an animal that all day long kill and murders, you will become one. You are what you eat. Let's not forget, the food become your blood, and the blood run all over the body. So the logic is very simple. When you eat bad food, it affects you. When you eat unkosher food, it affects your spirituality. Maybe not so much health-wise, that one is another topic for debate, but spiritual side, definitely yes. Character-wise, definitely yes. So the Rambam said, when I saw that the whole community have a question on God, check the butcher. Most likely, the whole community doesn't eat unkosher. Because it cannot be. The whole community have a question of God. Generation of Jews was sacrificed for the sake of God. The whole community doesn't believe in God. Are you joking? Most likely something is wrong. You know what's wrong? Kosher food. You see how important these two introductions? The first introduction is, if God exists, we have to make small steps. Ladies and gentlemen, small steps. You don't have to change. Small steps. Second one is, be careful. Be very, very meticulous in the food that you eat in. Because when you eat a kosher food, your mind is open and your heart is open to absorb the messages. Now, let's start. When they said God exists, Rabbi, I never saw God. That's how many times you say, Rabbi, can you prove me that God is, can you show me that God exists? You know that not everything we need to see in order to understand that this exists. I will give you simple proof, but one of them, he was once a student, Moshe. He went into a school in Russia. You know, Russian people, they don't believe in God. They don't believe in anything. So they came out and the teacher said, ladies and gentlemen, no, it was only introduction. God is not exist. So the student said, how do you know? He said, very simple. Can you say God? Can you see God? Everyone said, no. So he does not exist. There was one Jewish student over there, Moshe. He stood up and said, ladies and gentlemen, Our teacher have no brain. They said, how do you know? He said, can you see the brain of the teacher? They said, no. So the teacher have no brain. Ladies and gentlemen, not everything that you see or you don't see define reality. And I will give you an example. When you're going in and somebody claimed that you are murderers, the police came and claimed that you murdered someone. What is the first question of a judge is what? What's the first questions? No. Definitely you're not going to play. No, I'm talking about no man. I mean, nobody's going to say yes to murder. You're going to be... I'm talking about that you didn't murder. They claim that you murder and you know that you're not. Beautiful. Who said? Lorraine. Amazing. Lorraine, first of all, I have to say thank you very much for everything that you, Liron, Rivka, and Yudi is doing. May the Almighty will pay each one of you, B'ezrat Hashem, that this year we're going to dance in your wedding, v'nomar Amen, and all of your wedding. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to that. The first question is, do you have a witness? You don't have to see or not to see. If you have 2 witnesses, it's good enough. Even one, and the goyim. By Judaism, you need 2. I believe by a civil court, one is good enough. If you have a witness. Now, ladies, gentlemen, do you see the electric? Do you see the electric? Do you see electric? Do you see the electric? How do you know? So, how do you know that? Do we have electric right now in this room? How do you know that? How do you know that we have electric? By what? By the result. Meaning, by the result of the items, you can prove. Do you see the air? Can you see air? Now I'm talking to you. Do you see the air that's moving out from my mouth to you? Do you see it? No, right? You don't see it. How do you know that I have air? How do you know that air is passing? So somebody said, Kvod Harav, when you drive in Florida with open roof, and open roof, 10 miles an hour, and the breeze of Florida is coming, then I know that, and then America, I feel the air, right? Only when you have a breeze, you feel the air. But normal-wise, do you see the air? So how do you know that the air exists? By having effect. The effect of the air, meaning, I will go even extra mile, ladies and gentlemen. Thank God that we don't see certain things. Thank God. If we're going to see the germs that's flying in these rooms, you know these Chinese people that walking like a medicine all day long in the street, like they're alone, they look either like sick people or either like doctor. I didn't decide what they are looking like, but they look like aliens. They're walking like this with the eyes, they walk. Why? You know how much germs? My English is not perfect. I call them germs. So someone says, what Jeremy did? No. You know how many germs they have outside? Thank God we don't see. The fact that you don't see doesn't mean that they not exist. They are 100% exist. So now I prove you that watching or seeing something have nothing to do if it exists or not. Now let's take it the extra mile. Like we said before, the big band and the monkey business. You know the monkey business? The evolution. That we came from the monkey, and the monkey came from the cat, and the cat came from the mouse, and the mouse, and then came a human being. This to approach is an easy approach not to have any obligation to my life. Nobody ever proved that this approach is right. Nobody was here enough time to approve it. They're assuming. If you're going to check these 2 approach, you're going to see that these 2 building on assuming. Assuming that this is 100 years ago was like that, so most likely is not approved. Most likely. The logic that this cup, if I will tell you that this pen came because it was 2 items in the air, and they came, and then Parker came to town, and I'm signing. What are you going to tell me? Rabbi, I don't know what's going on, but you need the psychology, or you need to go to Eretz Israel, to the Kotel, and to pray a lot for your mind and soul, right? So I don't understand. A pen, we don't believe that is coming from coincidence. A paint that somebody We don't believe. So the world, that perfect world would come with a big band. Is no logic behind it. If you're going to check it good, you're going to see that this approach is based on assuming. The second one, the monkey business. You know, I call it the monkey business because once, I don't know if I share with you, but it's worthy to hear it. It was a bar mitzvah boy came into his mother. Before the bar mitzvah, he said, Ima. She said, yes. Where are we coming from? So she said, we come from Paras. Our heritage is Paras, and Mordechai, Esther, now Purim. Today was Adar Aleph, Adar Rishon, B'nai Nara. Today is a holy days, is a happy days. So she told them, he said, yes, Ima, a little deeper. What is our heritage, the source? So she said, our source is Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Our forefather, Abraham, and Isaac, and Uncle Jack, Yaakov Avinu. They are our, wow. The child was fuming. He went and preparing the speech. He went into his father. His father had nothing to do with religion. He said, Abba, where are we coming from? So the father said, we came from Paras. He said, no, Abba, deeper. He said, deeper, we came from the monkeys. And one day we grew up to become human beings. And he told them all the evolution, right? The way that he came. So the child is coming to his mother and said, Ima, I don't understand. I'm a little confused. You said that we came from Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Abba said we come from the monkey. Who is right? So the mother said, I will say it loud and clear. Your father's family come from the monkeys. My family come from Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Ladies and gentlemen, we come from Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and we are proud. But, you see, let's touch the other two religions, and then I'm going to prove you that our religious is the only religious that have solid proof that God is existing. I will give you an example. How many people was with Muhammad? You know Muhammad? You know Muhammad, right? Muhammad, he was a prophet. He was a messenger of God. This is what they said, right? He was a prophet of God. How many people saw God choosing Muhammad to be his prophet? Did you know how many people saw it? Just Muhammad. Maybe later on, Ahmad and Yasin came to the pictures, but this has happened later on. When Muhammad got the decision, when God chose him, it was only him and God. You come to tell me stories. Only God and you talk to you. God came to speak with Muhammad lonely. Scary to talk. Am I going to be blind, you know? You never know, but God, how come you don't have even one witness? The first question we say in the court is what? Give me a witness. How many witnesses we have that Joshua, you know Joshua, the Christian guy? Yehoshua? All right, Joshua. It's cool, huh? Cool, Rabbi. Joshua. Sounds good. You know the Christian? Jesus? How many people you know that had witnesses to see that he is the child of God? Meaning that his mother, God forbid, had a certain relation that she was conceived by God himself. How many witnesses do we have? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to disappoint you once again. Only the mother. She is the only witnesses that come with such a nonsense story to create religion. That she had a certain conceiving, and then the child of God came to the world. From some reason, only one witnesses. How many witnesses we had that saw God speaking to the Jewish nation when he gave the Torah? And God himself spoke. Not a messenger, not the angels, and not even Moshe Rabbeinu. The first two commandments in the Bible, the most important two commandments, that everything that you do is involved these two commandments. I'm your God, and don't choose any other God in my face. I'm your God, having a faith in me. Having a faith, don't have a faith in your boss, don't have a faith in your spouse, in the shidduch that you're going, or the shatran, the matchmaker. Don't worry, I'm going to get married because I have a connection to the matchmaker, I have a connection with the doctor, I have a connection with the lawyer, I have a connection with this. God said, the first commandment. Every mitzvah, every commandment that we're doing, connect with Anochi Hashem Elokecha. Why do we keep Shabbat? You know how difficult it is to keep Shabbat? Because God is our God. How do you know? And the best time in business-wise. The weekend is the best time in any business. You're closing this. You know how difficult is that? You know how difficult? Why are you closing the business? The guy's not right. He's a Jew. They said the Jew is smart. Why are you closing on the weekend? No. God in the Bible told me to close on Shabbat. You close it and the only day that you can make money. Sometimes it's the only day. Certain businesses, the central piece of the money is coming from that day. And you close in that business? Yes. And you hear Hashem, I am your God. And I have a faith that I will never lose. I'm doing such a thing. People is going to feel like the only thing that they might going to lose. They're not going to lose. But if you believe in God, you have to remember you will never lose from anything good that you do. There was this woman in the Shalom. In the Shalom, in Israel, there was a big manufacturer. Big manufacturer that doing electronic. Two women come to apply for a job. One young woman in the age of 20. The other one was 45 or 50 years old woman. They came, both of them, to apply for the same job. What is the job? To be the secretary. Okay. Now, what is the chance that they're going to choose the older woman? Almost zero. Young woman, full of passion, no application. This older woman have 5 children. So they spoke outside. The two women spoke. What's your name? My name is Rivka. What's your name? Rachel. How many children you have? I have 5. How many children? I'm not even married. I'm looking to get married. They spoke. Okay. The older woman went first. Coming in, she applied for the job, and when she went out, the woman over there in the company said, don't call us, we call you. You know what's the meaning? Kadisha told me, you never have the job. When they tell you we call you, that's it. You can hear the shredder, you know, sometimes when you go out, when you put resume, and you hear the machine, this is your resume is going down. Now we're going to call you, meaning, forget about it. And the young woman was walking in, she's looking for the job, and the woman, the lady, she was so passionate. She said, listen, if you want the job, tomorrow morning you get the job, you have the job. She said, no, I decided I don't want the job. Why you don't want the job? Why you can't? She said, I can't because I want the job, but you know, this first woman, the older woman, she needs it more. Give it to her. Give that woman. She has 5 children to support. What did they have? Nothing. I don't want it. She said, no, you don't decide. I decide. She said, no, I decide. I don't take the job. I'm leaving. She left the resume and she left. They hired the other woman. They hired it. 1 week later, ladies and gentlemen, listen to that. 1 week later, the owner wife, the owner of the company, the big company in Israel, the owner wife is calling to this woman. She said, excuse me, your name is Rachel, yes? She said, yes. You are the one that last week came here to apply for this. She said, yes. I said, I want to know, what is your name? What is your Rabbi name? What is your family name? And which state? And which yeshiva you know? She checked everything. The final week she called again. She said, I want to meet with you. They met each other. I saw them last time. She said, I will be very happy and honored if you're going to go out with my son. They went out with the son. Now, she lost the place with the secretary. She became the owner of the company. Ladies, gentlemen, no one ever got lost from doing something good. With a little patience, you're going to see that if you do good, you will receive good. God said, I am your God. Don't worry. Follow me in anything that you want and wish in life, you're going to get. Follow me, having a faith. The second commandment that God spoke, לא יהיה לך אלוקים אחרים. Don't choose any other gods above my face. Money. How many families, when I'm talking about other gods, he looked like an old story. Once upon a time. You know, one time they invite me to a Shiva. You know what means Shiva? Shiva meaning the father died, and they invite me, a family. You know how many places I went? 7 different houses. You know why? Because none of the children speak with each other. Each one of them sit in a different house. They cannot even sit in the same place for the father. Listen to that. Why? Because of money. How many friendship, how many relationship, how many family was destroyed over money? God said, don't choose any other God. I am your God. Don't make money your God. Don't make clothing your God. No, but I have to have this bag. I have to have this. And if I don't have it, you know how many marriage was disappointed, was canceling because he didn't buy me that what do you call it? That expensive coat that cost $7,000 to $10,000 coats. And if I don't get the verbs, I don't get married. And you know how many marriage I know that they went out after they got the engagement ring? Instead of checking if the guy is good or not, like engagement ring, what did they check? If the diamonds is real, and not if it's real, it's definitely real. How clean is the diamonds? VV1, VV2, or VV Gehenna? And if it's not $20,000, I'm not getting married. Cancel the wedding. Cancel the wedding. And the diamonds is what is most important for you? The clothing, the shoes? How many people of us, don't answer, was crying because one time the guy from the haircut made mistakes, small mistakes in your hair. People doesn't cry like that when the father died and she is sitting down. Rabbi, what did I need to be alive? Where is the closest bridge? Brooklyn or Manhattan? I said, go to Varazano. At least you have a beautiful view. What does it mean? Over a haircut. How many people of us? How many? God said, Lo yeh lecha Elokim. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to that and listen careful. How many people was there in the mountain of Sinai? How many people? How many witnesses we had? 3 million witnesses. Muhammad was lonely. Joshua was lonely. The only one that made it loud and clear that I exist is God. And how do I know that this is the story? Very simple. If I will ask each one of you, who is American here? Please pick up your hand. A person that grew up in America, came to the world in American hospital. Who is the one? Pick up your hand. Not me, I'm Israeli. That's it. Not more. Okay. Wow. A lot of foreigner. So I don't feel alone. Okay. Being American, I will ask you a simple questions. Yudi, when exactly Columbus discovered America? When? Columbus. Mr.
No. 1492.
1492, don't respond. How many? No. Effie, no. Effie is how many boats Columbus had? How many boats Columbus had? 3. And which place Columbus started, or how many people Columbus had with him? Don't try to answer because even the president doesn't know the answer. How many people? What kind of food they ate? How do you call this portion rice? The good one? Savdi? Tadi. It was tadi, oshpelo, couscous, gushgushe. What kind of food they had over there? Nobody know. Pizza? Spaghetti. Turkey. Nobody knew and nobody cared. If you're going to ask every Jewish child, at least 1 million in every generation will give you the same answer. At least in every generation, 1 million children will give you the same generation. When exactly the Jews left Egypt? Which day? Yudalet Nisan, 14 days of Nisan. 2 months exactly from now, the Jewish nation. How many people was? 3 million people. 600,000 men, and then the ladies and the children is 3 million. Which direction they went? They went into Yam Suf. How long it took them to get into the mountain? 49 days. Sfirat HaOmer. How many days it took them to get into Yam Suf? 7 days. What exactly they ate on the way? Matzot. Because of that, we ate the matzah. And each one of us, as Faradi, Ashkenazi, Bukharian, Russian, German, or Moroccan, Persian, any Jews, we all celebrate the same Seder. Why? Father give the child, and the child give the son, and the son give his father, and the father give. And this is the way that is going for over 3,300 years. And you know why? Because it was 3 million Jews that saw that God exists. We had 3 million witnesses that saw it. So if there's any religion that not afraid, that prove about any reasonable doubt that God exists. Mark Twain, you know who's Mark Twain? He wrote like that in his book, and he didn't like Jews so much. First of all, he's not a Jew, and second, he didn't like them. He wrote, and I saw the writing in his books. I didn't believe it. Such a horrible and disgusted nation. This is the way that he called us. Unreal. He's coming to describe us, and what did he use? Such a horrible and disgusted nation like the Jews. They are a living proof that God exists. And why? Because in every generation they tried to kill him. And for some reason, the Babylonian Empire is history. The Persian Empire is history. The Greek Empire is history. The Roman Empire is history. The German is, all of them is history. The only one that still exists, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael Chai, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael. He said, only God, only the one that created the world can protect his own nation in such a way. They are such a small nation. It's so easy to finish with them. And each generation, they have millions of people that their dream, and their vision is to kill us. They're willing to die. They're willing to blow themselves in order to kill Jews, and they still don't succeed. And why? Hashem Melech, Hashem Malach. Hashem Imloch Leolam Vaed. God is our God. God exists, and even in the Holocaust, Imach Shimam V'Shem Zecham, the German, you know what they did in the Holocaust? They not only play and kill our body, they used to play with our mind. One time they put parochet. You know what's parochet, right? What we cover the Aron HaKodesh, what we cover the Safra Torah, they call it parochet. And what is the name of the parochet? What did they have over there? And they put it in the front of the gas chambers, תאי הגזים. They put it in front, and what's it they said over there? זה אשר לשם צדיקים יבואו בו. This is the gate to God. Righteous will walk there. Almost in any synagogue nowadays you see it. And you know what the Jews respond? Singing on the way there. They went to die and they're still singing. What they're singing? Ashreinu, how fortunate we are to be a Jew. And the German looked at each other, they don't believe. Unreal, such a nation. We're going to kill them. And what are they singing? That they're fortunate, that they are Jews. If it's any religion, that this is emet 100%. Next week, B'ezrat Hashem, I will give you proof that the Torah is 100% emet. That everything that the Torah said is precisely the sign and the animal and the sun and the moon and everything else. But above all, we have 3 million proof, 3 million witnesses that God spoke with them. The only religion that never hide behind. The only religion that we choose, even though that is not comfortable, even though that is bad. No, we choose it freely. Why? Because literally we believe that the greatest gift that we have in this world is being connected to the Almighty God. If each one of us tonight will go back home, will accept something small. When I say something small, somebody came to me and said, Rabbi, I'm keeping Shabbat already. What do you want? Always you mention, accept Shabbat 5 minutes before. 5 minutes. 5 minutes before, not on the clock. If a person needs to eat kosher, at least one meal a day, you encourage yourself to eat only kosher. 1 meal a day. Do something for the sake of God, to be close to the Almighty God, and you're going to see. פתח לי פתחו של מחט, ואפתח לך פתחו של עולם. The Almighty God said, make a step for me, and I will make a huge step for you. That we all going to dance in each one of your wedding. And all of you going to find your happiness in life with everything that you wish and desire. Thank you very much.